In this video today, 3 tools or 3 tips, whichever way you want to put it, to help relieve anxiety and manage your anxiety when it flares up. Enjoy. What's going on, peeps? My name is Chris and I love everything to do with the mind, self-development, any way that we can be a better human being and learn about ourselves, essentially. So I'm here to give you any tools, tips, advice, experience that I've had, anything that I can help you with on your journey that I've learned throughout my journey on this thing that we call life. So in this video, in the line of the videos that I've been doing, which is, it's actually been a while now because I did a 30-day stint where I made a video every day, so I had backed up videos. That's my process for now while I'm working on the other stuff that I wanted to do. Due to the fact that it is November though, I wanted to make this video in line with Movember, and it's a great cause, especially for men's health, men's testicular cancer, men's prostate cancer, men's mental health and suicide. And in light of one of my dear friends' fathers passing away due to mental health and suicide, I wanted to make this video in some way just to give back and give some tools and tips. So anxiety, oh, what a fun one. I've spoken about this a couple of times in my videos. I haven't gone into the story about what I used to go through, but it will come one day when it's the right time. But I just wanted to make this really quick video of 3 tools and tips, obviously, because that's what it's called. And I really want to make a point that these things aren't solutions, they're tools, so they can help you to manage that anxiety that you're feeling. Now, a lot of the times when we come into these states, we go into that stress response, which is fight or flight response, or freeze. For me, a lot of the time it was freezing. I didn't know what to do in a certain situation, or I couldn't make a decision, and it sucked. It was debilitating. I used to wake up and I used to have days where it felt like crushing on my chest, my stomach was clenching in, and it was tough. It was really tough. I used to have breakdowns constantly, and then I moved through it. So I really want to make a point that it's definitely possible to move yourself out of these states. I did a lot of work in relation to where I was to where I am now, which is an amazing difference, and I really want to make that point that you can too. So on to the 3 tips and tools. First tool is breathing. A lot of the time we forget to breathe in these states. Now, when you are doing a breathing exercise, it's important to remember what actually happens is it stops that stress response over a period of time, so you can go back into that more relaxed state. Now, when we're anxious or panicked or anything like that, you'll notice that you'll be taking shallow breaths and it will be chest breathing. So I really want to kind of incorporate to you now that if you breathe through your diaphragm or your tummy, if that's an easier way to put it, and you breathe fully in here, then it's gonna activate that or turn off that stress response over time. Don't give up on yourself. It's not gonna take 30 seconds. It's gonna take a couple of minutes, maybe more often, maybe more than you actually think it will. But stick to it, because after a while it'll slow down if you slow your breathing down as well. So what I mean by that is, keep doing that over and over. I already feel relaxed from doing that. And when you do this a certain number of times or a certain period of time, you actually start to kind of get out of that response and relax a bit more. Important to remember, it does not happen straight away. You need to do it consistently with yourself over a certain period of time. Whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, find what works for you. And then if you do it, the more often that you actually do it, when you're actually getting those feelings of anxiety, you're breaking the pattern that you go into. And that's the most key and important thing, is because you want to break that pattern of like, oh shit, this feeling is and then you start, tensing up, or your body language is like, no, or your physiology even. You get to this point where your physiology is just like, curled up, and like, you want to open up so you can breathe and slow it down. And when you do that, that's your first tool, and that'll help manage it. Maybe it won't solve the problem completely, but it will help manage it. And then you can able to calm yourself down and move forward. Second thing, exercise. Now, when you exercise, you release endorphins. Endorphins is that good neurochemical in your brain that actually allows you to feel happier. You feel good after a training session, you worked it out, you've sweated it out as well. So keep that in mind when you're exercising, or if that's your, it's not about, my body, I want to look this or that, I just want to be fit or whatever, I just want to feel good. That was the reason why, I really got into exercise, because I'm like, I want to navigate my mental state a lot more. And it just helps. It helps grow that aspect of your self-discipline, your confidence, different areas, and keeps your mental health in check. So exercise. Now, high intensity stuff's really good. If you start getting into that state, fucking run around the block, as fast as you can a couple of times. Then you'll be too tired to think even about what you're anxious for. Now, number 3. 3 is also basically breaking your pattern of what's actually happening. And the way I would do that is, usually what happens is when we go into these anxious states, it's because we're thinking about the future, a future event that's to come, that we're feeling maybe has like a negative aspect that's going to happen, right? But how do you know that? How do you actually know that it's going to be bad? More often than not, the stories that we create are invalid, and it doesn't actually happen the way that you thought it was going to happen. So what you're essentially doing is you're believing in your imagination. And then that's creating those feelings. But nothing has actually happened. So I want you to do an exercise with me now, which will be able to understand where I'm coming from with it. Now, again, anxiety, believed in imagination. So you're believing in something that hasn't happened yet. So I want you to do this now. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And imagine you go into the kitchen. In the kitchen you see a lemon on the table. Now you remember the smell of a lemon, or maybe those lemon, those lemon sherbet lollies when you were kids. Maybe, I don't know, but the smell of a lemon. And as you smell that lemon, I want you to imagine you go up to that lemon and you cut it open. Juice kind of goes a bit everywhere. You can smell it a bit more. Cut a wedge out of the lemon. And as you imagine that you're cutting a wedge out of a lemon, I want you to grab that piece of lemon and put it up close to your mouth, imagining that it's right in front of your mouth. And as you do that, I want you to stick your tongue out and lick it. Give it a little lick. And then bite into that wedge. And notice what happens to the saliva. You can open your eyes now. The saliva in your mouth will actually increase, because that feeling is so linked to that's what you're creating. Interesting, right? So in those points where you get anxious, I really want you to stop. Stop and ask yourself, is the story that I'm creating right now true? Is it realistic? Is it valid? When you do that again, pattern interrupt. When you interrupt that thought pattern, over time, you're just chopping it down. And then you're able to be like, well, okay, it's not the reality, I'll just put it to the side. Keep doing it. And then over time, it gets better and better. So, with that being said, 3 quick tools and tips for anxiety and managing it. I hope you've enjoyed the video. As always, make someone smile today. You never know, the smallest thing you can do can have a huge difference on someone's life, especially now, especially during this time we live in. Mental health is up, and if you can make someone smile, you can change their day, change their week, change their month, just by a small, nice gesture. Keep on keeping on, keep on wondering. Don't forget down below, you know what to do. Click the buttons, they only help to see where I'm at. And other than that, hope you enjoy your day, hope you enjoy the video. Much love, peace.